Hey, how's it going, guys? So NAM has an update today, 0.7.4, and in this update, they officially implemented the arrows, and you have a folder view, and it also came with some updates that were under the hood stuff that resolved some of the issues going on with Cubase and Apple users. And I have a cool trick for you guys that involves the plugin connector for Reaper. Basically, you can set up a stereo effect with two different instances of NAM. So the first one, you're going to set it to 1 and 1, like so. And the second one, you're going to set it to 2 and 2. So that way you can have different captures, for instance, on the right channel. I'll use like the Mesa that I like. I'll put that on the right channel. So now you can have one mono signal, but two different captures going on. So you can combine different captures. It's a pretty powerful technique. So check this out. Yeah, I'm just showing you can control one channel at a time now. So that's one way you can implement the pin connector. And the other way is this is just a traditional way of doing it, but just make sure that you have all three of these connected, because if you don't have the third one, then you're missing out on dBs. So make sure you set up this one the same. It's going to be like this. So now I'll put it back to stereo. Yeah, so make sure you have that third one in there, because you're missing out on valuable decibels if you don't have that. And yeah, that's it for the pin connector. That's pretty cool. You can do a lot of things with that. So you can have 2 instances of NAM going, or more. You can have 5 different instances going of NAM, and have like a Marshall, a Mesa, a Brunetti, whatever you want. And you can combine it with just one singular DI. So it's pretty awesome. Just think of the possibilities you can do, especially with a 5.1 surround sound. So it's pretty smart little trick. Just remember the routing, how it works. Just go back and watch it a few times if you need to, or just mess around with it and you'll get the idea. Another thing I want to show you guys is 2 free plugins I ran into. This one's called Veecomp GT, and it's basically a compressor and saturator. And it gives it kind of just dials in a bit more of the saturation sound that I like, and just brings up the volume a little bit, the overall compression. So it works well. And also have an API 512C clone that I just threw in after my PTEq-X. I just found I needed a little bit more high end and clarity and control over the low end. But yeah, I was going through, as you can see here, a bunch of different EQs, and just trying out a bunch of different ones. One thing I should note is that I said in my video titles that, just use an EQ instead of an IR, but that's actually too vague, and it's hard for me to just, extrapolate on that in a YouTube title, right? But what I mean is actually only 4 different apps, FabFilter Pro Q3, Saturn 2, BYOD, and Ignite PTEq-X. Those are the only 4 that actually do this. Like, not all EQs are built the same. That's the thing, is I've realized through this experiment, is that they do in fact filter, but they don't sound musical, and they don't actually get rid of all the white noise. So it's kind of interesting that some of them just sound good, and others sound kind of brittle or harsh or strange. And PTEq-X is one of the best ones. I was going through a bunch of different blog lists, like top 5, top 10 free EQs, and this one came up the most because people were saying it's the most musical. And it's kind of interesting, because I got that impression right away. Is like the mid-range is very nice sounding, and there's really no bad frequencies on this. Like, it's just, they worked it out, and it's a really well designed app. it's kind of a sleeper. Like, I didn't know about this app until a little while ago, just cruising around, but I highly recommend it. Even if you don't want to use it for what I'm using it for in this particular context, just apply it to anything, because this is a great app. And I was going through a bunch of different EQs, just trying out different ones, and they didn't have that kind of musical sound that I liked about the PTEq-X. That's a hard one to say. It's a stupid name, actually. They should change it to something more simplistic and catchy. But the API 512C is also very musical. This is why I kept it, and I threw it on as a post EQ. It's not quite good enough for a single plugin, like as an IR kind of thing, but it does work really well as a post EQ. So yeah, this is just good as an EQ in general as well. So I highly recommend this one. I'll put all the links in the description for this stuff, for the new version of NAMM and the Veecomp GT and the API 512C clone, so you guys can give it a go. So that's everything, dudes. Hope you learned something and have a good day. Cheers.